G'day everybody, how you going today? It is so very good to see you. We've got some absolutely breaking news today in regards to announcements from both Sony and Nikon. Let's jump straight into it. Sony, yes, today they have announced in development is the A7R5. Now, this is a camera that perhaps some people have been waiting for since the A7R4. I myself have owned the A7R and the A7R3. Sony seems to love this camera because they bring them out at such a pace. I think there was only something like 14 months between the A7R3 and the A7R4. Anyway, we're not here for a history lesson. We're here to talk about what are the ridiculous specs that we can see coming for this camera. It is going to have an 83 megapixel BSI stacked sensor. Absolutely ridiculous. Of course, as another headline, it will have 8K. Now, the expectation is here that they're going to have to do something with pixel binning or pixel cropping or pixel doubling or whatever they do with the pixels. There's multiple methods to get video to work with sensors that are not exactly the right size for them. This is insanity. Who would have thought that Sony is just going to keep pushing the envelope above and beyond the A1, which is already a ridiculous machine that would cover the majority of people's uses. But there does seem to be this ever pushing to go higher and higher with the megapixels. And personally, I still don't quite understand how you can do it in such a small space. It's a lot. It's crazy. What else can we expect? Well, the design, which is right here, has not changed pretty much at all from the A7R4. Kind of makes sense because that camera, I think, is only about 2 years old. The design's the same. Of course, we will see in this camera the dual card slots using the CF Express Type A/SD card slot, which I think is a fantastic idea in principle. It's just right now the only company that supports, that manufactures those cards is Sony, and they come at a premium. Also, the maximum size I still think sits at 160 gigabytes, which, don't get me wrong, that's still a very large card, but when we are seeing half terabyte, terabyte and 2 terabytes cards coming out for CF Express Type B, well, that's a significant difference at that point. And of course, as these machines become more video-centric or video capable, because they're still very capable at stills, then that need for the ultra-high storage capacities becomes more and more of a need. I would like to see Sony move over in perhaps cameras that are 8K or something like the A7S III, where they are obviously video machines, that perhaps there's a Type A CF Express and a Type B CF Express slot, one of each, so the end user can choose. I suppose those larger cards will come, but if it's anything like Type B was with XQD, it was very slow coming, whereas CF Express Type B is moving super fast. Besides those headline features, really, this camera is much the same. It has Sony's blistering state-of-the-art tracking, AF tracking, and all the AF crazy business there. Nothing new has been added. And of course, from a frame rate perspective, it does not exceed the A1 at 30 frames per second. This camera comes in at 18 frames per second. But when you're pushing 83 megapixels around, I think that's a lot. For people doing landscapes or even birding, I would have thought 18 frames a second will get you by. It'll get you there, it'll get things done. And yes, it continues to be compatible with the vertical grip made for the A7R4. This is an exciting development announcement, and as soon as I have any more details, more images, I will get them to you as quick as I can. Also, in other news, it's surprising somewhat, but then again, not surprising. We also are having a development announcement from Nikon. This is big news as well. And in a way, it's not a surprise because both Sony and Nikon seem to be doing some things at similar or the same times. For example, both of them are having small primes out at the same time. At least that's rumored, that's what we could believe. And also the announcement of the A1 and the development announcement of the Z9 were very, very close to each other. So it's no surprise that we are hearing a development announcement about the Z8. Holy cow, this is perhaps the camera that the majority of people in the Nikon ecosystem are interested in. It is the next step from the D850. And strangely enough, it is not particularly different from the A7R 5. These are both landscape-oriented cameras. It comes in at 75 megapixels, which is extraordinarily exciting. And again, the difference between 83 and 75, when you're this high up, is negligible. I think it's something like a 10% difference. Again, it will sport 8K. I don't know how Nikon have done it, but this camera is pushing out 20 frames per second. And it will be able to take the recently registered EN-EL18D battery, yet it is said to be smaller in size than the Z9. So who knows what Nikon are doing there. This is all the information I have about the Z8 at this stage, but it is coming and it is super exciting news for all Nikon users. And to close out this very exciting day of photo news, a GoPro, Be a Hero, are announcing the first ever eye-watering, mind-splitting, brain-numbing, medium format action cam. 100 megapixels of blistering, eye-watering action that basically everybody and nobody would ever want. 12K of action, IMAX level quality, coming out for $12.99 in 2022. So to Sony users and to Nikon users, what a great day this is. And also, it's April Fool's. I had to make a bit of a joke. For once, neither of these cameras exist yet, but life has been so serious that I just had to make this video. Although I think what I've talked about is probably highly likely to be true, although I do think the megapixels might be a little bit lower. If you're a Sony user, please tell me, what would you want or expect the A7R 5 to be? Please let me know in the comments below. And if you're a Nikon user, please let me know, what would you be hoping for the Z8 to be? Let's talk frame rates, resolution, and video spec on all of those things. And battery type. Do you want the pro level, larger sized batteries? Instead of having this battery, which is the EN-EL15C, you have this battery here, which has significantly more capacity. And this is the EN-EL18B, I think this one is. Which battery would you like to see in the Z8 if and when it is ever announced? So good to see you. Happy April Fool's Day. If this is your first time here, I would love to see you again. I will only do this once a year. Sorry if some people got excited and then got sad. Please don't throw anything at your screens because it won't hurt me, it'll hurt you. Please like, please share. I'd love to see you again, so please do subscribe. And there are over 300 episodes just there that you can watch right now. I will see you on the weekend for the Viltrox versus the Nikon 85mm 1.8 shootout. So pumped for it. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.